I'd love to introduce to you the speakers today. First of all, today we've got Jim Fife. Jim is the mainframe architect here at Evolving Solutions. He's been involved with mainframe server technology for over 41 years, and he leads everything here at Evolving Solutions regarding the mainframe platform. We're very fortunate to have him be part of the team. We've also chosen to partner with Four-Cross Consulting. Four-Cross is an amazing company, and Bonnie from Four-Cross is here today to talk more about their offering around COBOL modernization. She's been part of the company's delivery organization for over 200 enterprise legacy modernization projects. She's been a principal there for more than 3 decades. And as a software developer by nature, Bonnie really understands the challenges inherent in modernizing applications. She really also understands the perspective of developers in the trenches who are struggling to get those difficult changes made to be able to adapt to a new world.
Your assessment is going to provide clients with the insight they need to identify those source programs that will experience common version 4 to 6 compilation challenges, right? And that's good, right? So how do clients, they see this, they got the gazillion messages, man, they work through the stuff mind-numbingly, right? And then they go, let's move this bad boy in, let's get to version 6. What migration techniques might they consider?
Basically, there's 3. You can do an across-the-board upgrade, which is, all apps, all programs, all code possible. We put that out there, although that's probably the least desirable of all. That's a purely technical migration. It's got the largest impact on your staff. However, it's likely to be the fastest way to get to version 6 compliance. But it's also we think it's the highest cost approach, because you're upgrading programs that maybe haven't been upgraded for decades. You may have to do some rewriting. You could get bogged down in the tall grass. And it's maybe a more appealing option for smaller COBOL shops. So it shouldn't be dismissed summarily. Another option is an incremental upgrade, which is sort of at the opposite end from the first one. Incremental meaning, as we're doing application maintenance, we will upgrade that program to the version 6 compiler because we're going to be testing the program anyway, so we get double the bang for our buck in terms of doing it that way. That may be a reasonable option also. It depends on your maintenance loads and lots of other factors in terms of staff resources, etc. This is we consider this an under the radar activity. In other words, there's not really an upgrade project per se. It's just that when programs are changed, they are also upgraded. It would have the lowest staff impact, which can be very good, but it could quite possibly take many, many years. And if you've got a risk issue related to running mission critical apps on an unsupported version of the compiler, then this may not be such a good option for you. The third choice that we see is what we call a sequential upgrade or a line of business upgrade. And this is where you take a particular line of business operations. For example, if you're an insurance company, you might take your agency payment system or your claims management system or whatever. Take a line of business and say, we're going to upgrade that one first. We're going to perfect our project, put our team in place, do that migration, learn the lessons learned, and then be better positioned to do the next line of business subsequently. This has a benefit that it does move an entire application at a time, which is good. You can say, yes, we have begun and we are in production with some of our portfolio. It isolates the IT disruption to a smaller group. In other words, the team of programmers responsible for that particular application instead of being across the board. And it builds some in-house expertise among the subject matter experts and other people who will ultimately be involved from the client side, no matter whether the project is done by outsiders or not, in terms of helping the second and third line of business people go through. These are the approaches. Certainly key in all of them is that the client's teams, whether they're going to be doing the projects or not, need to learn enough about them to be able to interface with and support the contracted team, if you will, if the work is going to be done by outsiders, to make sure that everything is right before you put the code into production.
I want to move towards the pilot side
Right.
of our offering, right? because the compiler does a great job of calling out like challenges with the verbs they've written, right? He does a pretty good job there. But the testing that's something that you gotta roll up your sleeves. So
Right.
just like we had a set of objectives in support of the migration assessment, we have a set of objectives that will support a pilot migration. So the first one is we'll develop a methodology, and this is key, right? We will, as part of this offering, we will develop and document a methodology that can be used by the client to quickly and accurately upgrade any number of COBOL programs to version 6. We'll validate the methodology by converting a representative sample, and then this is what's cool, right? If the client's got the appetite, right, we'll support them on a go live for those objects.
Mm-hmm.
So having said that, what I want to do then is I want to basically say, Bonnie, given the modernization experience your company brings to the table, tackling a client's entire portfolio for migration, it's not foreign to you. However, you also offer a pilot that allows the client to gain a sense on what their migration might look like. Can you provide insight as to what this pilot looks like and how clients might approach such an engagement?
Sure. We believe in taking a small chunk of programs, no matter what type of migration we're doing. And basically, they're the scouts that we send over the hill to see, what's beyond the next ridge. There's no point in converting and compiling 1,000 programs to learn that which you could have learned after converting 10 or 100. So we like to do a small pilot with 75 to 150 programs where we come in and work with the client to choose the programs. We lead with our assessment project first to assess their portfolio. That will help them to determine which ones should be in the pilot. And then we work with them to determine their selection criteria. We talked a little bit about the selection criteria earlier as far as you want batch programs, online programs, ones that talk to older programs. That's an important thing because you want to make sure when you're done with the pilot that those 75 or 100 or whatever programs you feel were representative of your entire suite, right? You don't just want 100 report programs. So we help the clients, we guide them through that. It's a collaborative process. And then we test those programs, compare the outputs, help build the test environment, run the tests, compare the outputs, and report back to the client, as well as we collect and gather all the statistics on the execution of all of that work and what their test environment should be and what tools and techniques and processes should be used. So we actually try out everything. We build the model for them.